Weaponization of the term gender and politicization of this topic is a part of political agenda of different actors. That's why it's important to do comprehensive research in order to allow women to participate in political life. I'm Tamar Ginturashvili from Georgia, founder and executive director of Media Development Foundation. We're working on disinformation research, fact checking, and media literacy. There are different definitions of gender disinformation. We mostly rely on the definition provided by EU Disinfo which focuses on intersection between disinformation and gender when the marginalized group are unduly targeted by disinformation because of their identity. Gender disinformation has chilling effect not only on targets who are mostly politicians or women journalists, but on others and deterring them to participate in political life. That's why gender disinformation in direct connections with democratic process and providing public with comprehensive picture what is going and how hostile actors are trying to use this type of harmful content is important for democracy and for healthy media ecosystem. After Russia's invasion in Ukraine, we observed combination of military presence and hybrid warfare. And there were a number of cases when First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska, were targeted personally. Here, the photos of naked women were shown several times, claiming that while Zelensky backs European leaders for military supply, his wife is shown naked on the beach on Israel. We also saw that gender disinformation has cross-country nature. When Annalena Baerbock visited Georgia, some Facebook accounts were quick enough to distribute the photo of naked women, claiming that this is a Minister of Foreign Affairs of Germany. When she was young, she was professional prostitute. Verification of photo revealed that this was a Russian porn model, and the source of this information was a Russian propaganda website. Because internet is global, it's quite difficult to identify in certain cases these hostile actors. In local country specific media ecosystem, we have government affiliated fake accounts spreading harmful content in coordinated ways. But if we take the regional aspects, Ukrainian war, we see migration of the similar content from country to country, and it's easy to amplify through different platforms. And we are witnessing some foreign information manipulation and interference, FIMI, so-called, as it was coined by European Strategic Communication Unit, when the content, which is anti-liberal, becomes very popular in our part of the world, and the framing of the ongoing events, for instance, war in Russia, as a religious war of US against Orthodox Russia, who tries to defend us from pervert West, is also the trend we're observing. And sometimes it's quite difficult to differentiate the Kremlin propaganda sources from Western conservative sources who are very popular in our part of the world. And the intention, the goal of such content is to harm society by distributing the false content intentionally. Anti-liberal discourse is a part of the Kremlin propaganda, which is very sensitive topics, because besides weaponization of information, we witness weaponization of religion. And this concept of Ruski Mir is most influential tool in this regarding Kremlin playbook, because orthodoxy and traditional conservative values are the main topic Kremlin tries to weaponize. We see this dichotomy of the pervert West on the one hand and Orthodox Russia, when Moscow is presented as a third Rome who tries to defend our identity from pervert West. We are providing public and stakeholders with constant discourse analysis. We are detecting the sexist language based on 6 criteria we developed with feminist organization. We're also running fact-checking platform Myth Detector, which is a member of International Fact-Checking Network, and we have partnership with Meta. We are third-party partner of Meta on fact-checking program as a part of fact-checking program. We are labeling false content on platforms, which allows public to get alternative information and read our articles. It's some kind of warning media consumers that the content they are accessing on Facebook was fabricated. They have chance either to read our article or share the same post if they distrust us and trust the original source of information. We incorporated gender disinformation aspects in our media literacy curricula to educate public how to consume media content wisely.